Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome back to the Divine Hemp Podcast. This is B speaking to you guys, the lovely audience who wants to hear my voice. With that being said, today with more hemp news from an awesome source. Type of round table that covers the global hemp industries around the world. Nice culmination of it all. So I give you guys props, and that is my citation. That's where we get our information from. Specifically today, we'll be focusing on the FDA. Woo! Governmental organization. Woo! Spookies. The FDA says it cannot manage the regulation of CBD. So what do? They call on Congress to act. Okay. From what I've gathered, the federal safety standards are insufficient to the CBD industry to manage it from the Food and Drug Administration. That is why they've called on Congress now. Now, I don't have a PhD, I'm no expert in that field of policy, government, right? But I question sometimes. To ask, in an open discourse platform, does Congress have the right people? Probably got the right power. But does it have the right people? The conglomerate of people. Are they asking enough people in the CBD industry? The cannabis industry maybe as a whole, to some degree. As to the specific rules that should be in place. It was just from reading this article, I'll tell you straight up, the same pattern from last week's episode when we tapped upon the notion of enforcement versus rule setting. Feeling a very similar vibe here from that. And enforcement's too suppressive, too aggressive in that sense. And to further go on from the deputy commissioner, Miss Woodcock, of the FDA, a new regulatory pathway would benefit consumers by providing safeguards and oversights to manage and minimize risks related to CBD products. Safeguards? Good. Sounds like protocols. Oversight, that's where it can get tricky, I think. Why? Because you don't want too much political oversight to get in the way from experiential oversight in the industry. And that, I guess, is where a nice democratic checks and balances, a balance of powers would need to be hashed out quite nicely. But I think I could speak for a good amount of people when I say that people in the cannabis, hemp, and marijuana industries, I think, it's a big think, have good insight as to what CBD in tincture, gel, or salve form looks like, smells like, acts like, and feels like. Which was very funny, very comedic. The title of this subcategory in the article says "Same Old Song." And why does it say "Same Old Song"? You might be asking, right? Well, it's going over certain I'm very cautious when I say this word, misinformation from certain sources. Meaning, in the past, it has been reported that the FDA has cited studies. Now again, how many people were involved in that cited study, who cited the study, and how qualified were they for the study? That's a whole different thing that's not even mentioned in the article. Besides that, they took that information And they said CBD could harm the liver and male reproductive systems. And said little is known about how it interacts with drugs and its effects on children and pregnant women. You could find that right in the first sentence of the same old song paragraph. Now, from a very known perspective, anti-inflammatory properties are top of the list. They're top chart. They're top hit. That is what is said about people who use CBD. Give it to the folks. Give it to the family. Give it to the friends. What do they all say? As anti-inflammatory rejuvenation, meaning in joints, kidney, stomach, digestional tract, all of it. Not saying it's a cure-all, end-all, be-all. No, not that. Saying it is a helpful agent with no harmful effects given the quantity taken. The quality of the quantity taken, if it's not from a trustworthy source or a verified source or a valid source, okay, then you're probably going to hear some stories about that experience. But when the 2018 Farm Bill was passed, okay, for the growing of industrial hemp, which is a cannabis sativa plant, under 0.3% THC, they automatically, I don't even know if this went through I don't even think this got to Congress, but hemp hearts, whole hemp heart seeds, and hemp seed oil, which great in cooking, by the way. I use that a lot. Steaks, vegetables. It's a nice butter replacement, I'll say that. You just can't cook it too hot, or else you're going to burn the effects of it. Kind of similarly, if you put honey in tea and it's boiling water, there go your beneficial effects. It's too hot. But whole hemp seeds, hemp seed oil, and seed-based protein powder, hemp protein powder. Very interesting when we talk about that in the powdered form. Almost all 23 aminos. It's a very nice chain. All those ingredients in human food are good. But CBD, which is derived from the hemp flower with no psychoactive properties, is not. Why? B, I'm sensing financial FOMO from bigger groups. Oh, okay. All right. That could be a thing. Could be. And then we have the other side of that coin that might not just be from the financial side, but also from the overconsumption side. We do have to look at that too. Now, I don't know if too much good can be bad. I know that's a saying that has been said many of times. But in the sense of an elixir like CBD, could it be? Or are we making it out to be? Or are we having financial FOMO? All those are open to the table and open for discussion. So, in this calling for Congress to act, right, the FDA said its existing foods and dietary supplement authorities, they're not able to manage many of the risks associated with CBD under the rules with food additives and dietary supplements. And then this quote says, given the available evidence, it is not apparent how CBD products could meet safety standards for such products, meaning dietary and food additives, all supplemental. I know it radiates to my ear when I read that. Fear. And that kind of fear is exactly what is suppressing our ability to heal ourselves. Whether we have joint pain, whether we have discomfort, migraine, headaches, whatever, or we don't. For people that love how it makes them feel, how it makes them act, how it makes them grow, or how it keeps them at bay. Either or, there is suppression going on, and it can go to one of two things: fear or gluttony. And I'll say it right then and there. So then we keep going down, right? We keep following the path of the article. And interestingly enough, the FDA, see, this is where the breadcrumbs come in, right? The FDA underscored its position on CBD. Why would it underscore its position if it knows its potential? Why would it do that? Because there ain't no way that they're getting bad customer reviews from good quality CBD businesses. There's no way. Right here. Bee Canna Farm. I just tried the 1,000 milligram salve, by the way. Shout out to you guys. Great people working over there. Brandon, you are 1 in a million, my friend. The FDA simultaneously underscored its position with CBD and announced that it denied 3 petitions from stakeholder groups that asked for the agency for rules that would have allowed the marketing of CBD products in dietary supplements. So even us, even DH, in our very beginning stages, yes, we want to be transparent with you guys. We had CBD pills, full spectrum, broad spectrum, my apologies, no THC, in 500 milligram pills. And I'll tell you what, I was pretty much one of the only ones that took them. And I'll say this, my sleep was heavenly, and it still is. So now we have, even from what this article is telling us, there are agencies and lawmakers that are even calling out the FDA because of its inaction for the proper action that needs to be set afoot. It's just writing rules, writing protocols. There are a bunch, a conglomerate, its own conglomerate of CBD testing facilities, cannabis testing facilities just in general, from tincture to flower to concentrates, that test the toxicity, the cannabinoid profile, and all the culminating factors or facets that makes for a good product in this sense. So I will say this, the inaction is known. What will be the action? Or how can the community of cannabis people, cannabis activists, cannabis experts, cannabis growers, how can we facilitate our own protocols into this new age of holistic medicine? Don't do that, the pharmaceuticals will get mad at you. Oh, you know what? They're behind the 8 ball. They need more people like us to get closer and ahead of the 8 ball so people can have healthier lives, happier lives. It can be done naturally. It doesn't have to be with all, screen this and screen that, let's hype this and hype that up. No. You can do it with all the things that are already abundantly available to you on this planet. So, what can we take away? I guess is the good question here, right? Because we don't want to just meander and play the blame game here, okay? So this is for everybody in the cannabis industry, in the hemp industry, who sees its potential, who knows its potential, who works with the potential every day in enhancement and whatnot. This is for you guys to stand your own ground. Play with these people. Play ball. Play the game. Play the game. You know what's right. You know what's true. And you know how we're going to win. It's together. That's really all it's ever been about. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for joining me tonight on another episode of the Divine Hemp Podcast, where we hopefully covered some good news, analyzed it in a good way, maybe an open-minded way, and we tried to come through with some solutions to bring more people, more like-minded individuals together. So with that, I thank you, and I hope you all have a blessed night, and I'll see you in the next episode. Feel free, link down below. Got all of our hemp clothes, different natural blends and whatnot, all there. New Trinity skull cap, New Trinity sweatshirt. Oh my God, it's got the business plan on the back. Talk about being transparent, right? What am I saying? Number one and one only. But we leave room for others to be number one as well, right up top. We share, because we care. All right. Good night, guys. Peace out.